Hi. So now in this lecture, let us try to understand another real-time scenario in Azure Data Factory. So that is copying missed files from source to destination. So what does it mean? So here, this is the source container where we have total 6 files. And this is the destination container. See here, 3 files are there. So now in this, if you observe, there are 3 files which are missed actually. So that is what you see. These are the 3 files which are not exist in the destination. So 3 files are missed. So what we need to do? These 3 files, first of all, we need to identify, and then we should copy from source to destination. So for this, how we are going to design a pipeline? So to fulfill this requirement. So here, let us try to understand how you can achieve this one. So total 6. So very first thing is we should know now total file names from the source container. So from the source, all file names we should know. Okay. So all file names we should know. And similarly, another step is what? From the destination also, all the file names what are exist, we should know, right? So all the file names we should know from both source and destination. After that, we should count the source, destination, total number of files in each. Okay. Total number of files in each we need to find out. So that is what total number of files in source is M, and total number of files in destination is N, for example. Then how we know some files are missed? So that is what simply next step is fourth step, M minus N. If it is 0, what does it mean? All files from source to destination are exist. So that means there is exact number of files from source to destination. Then another, if this M minus N is greater than 0, what does it mean? That means some files are missed. At that time, identify those files and then move to the destination. So for that, how you are going to do this whole scenario? So let us go to the data factory. So this is the data factory we took. So let us try to take this one, create a new pipeline. So in this, let us see what is the first step. We should fetch all the file names from the source container. So here, if you observe the blob storage, and if you see in the source, this is the source container we taken. So in this, all these files we are going to take. So observe that 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9 and 10. Total 10 tables are there, 10 files are there, and EMP table, there is another. So total 11 files are there here in the source container. Similarly, observe the destination container. In the destination, we have 5 files are there. So that means total 6 files are missed in this case. So those 6 files, we should move from source to destination. So for that, let us try to create a pipelines. See here, first thing is fetch the all file names from the source. So for that, to get the file names from the source, what we are going to use? Get metadata activity. So let us use that. Then this is fetching what actually? So get source file names. So we are using for that. So let us take the settings. So try to create a new data set. So this is from blob storage. Then CSV files. Then let us give the file name, dataset name ds underscore source from blob. So let us give 1. Now linked services, which is already created, Azure blob storage 1. Now let us select the source container in that particular blob so that it can fetch all the files from this location actually. So that's all. Click on OK. So now let us see its output so that we can move further. So click on debug. Now after this, let us try to select the field list. So in this, let us try to take the child items. So what does it mean? It is going to fetch all the file names from a source container. So now let us try to debug it. Click on debug so that we can see total files which are existed in source container. So that's all completed. Click on output. So you can see here there are total 11 files fetched from the source. So let us try to copy it simply and then change the name. This is fetching the files from destination actually. So fetch file names from the destination. But we need to change the settings, especially here data set. So this we are going to take a new. So blob storage, continue, CSV type file, then data set underscore destination underscore blob. Okay, 1. So now select the linked service, same thing. Then let us try to select the container that is destination. So these file names it is going to fetch. So that's all. Click OK to create a data set. So data set is also ready. Now let us see both the files output at once. So click on debug. So what it should do, from source and destination, correspondingly file names should exist. Now let us see especially the destination part. You can see total 5 file names it is fetched. So now you have file names in the ADF. So let us make it align. So now after this, what is the immediate step you need to do? Find out the number of files. That means count in each container we need to identify. So that's what actually, for that we need to create a variable. So first one is source files count. Then another variable destination files count. So now to get this value, what we need to do, use the set variable activity. So after completion of this, connected to the set variable activity. So in the set variable activity, so here we are finding count source files. So here in the settings, let us try to take this source files names. So we are finding the source files count. Then how you will get the count. So here if you observe one more thing, in the output section, for example, source file names we are finding, right? So go to the output. See child items. So under the child item, this is array type actually. So that means in the array, how many objects are there? How many elements are there if you get? That is nothing but the total number of files in the source. For that, what we can do here in the dynamic content expression. So in the functions, if you observe under the collection functions, so we are going to have a function called length. So you can observe length meaning is, okay, returns the number of elements in an array. So that is what actually. So let us use the length function here. So to the length function, what we need to pass? So we need to pass source files names. In this, we need to pass output dot child items, right? So child items is actually a array type. So that array, when you pass to this, it is going to return number of files actually. But the thing is, this particular variable, so source files count is actually a string type, but here it is returning integer number. Let us try to convert this whole result into again to string. So now just by placing a curly braces, it will convert into string actually. So now with this, we are going to have total number of files in a source container. So let us just copy it, replicate it. Then let us try to connect like this. Then here, change the name, first of all, destination files, total count. Destination files count. Then in the destination, so let us just change it to destination files count variable. Then change the this part actually. So especially, so in this, it is a destination file names. So with that, you can see here we are getting in the destination, how many number of files are there we are getting. Now after this, these two files difference we need to identify, right? So for that, let us try to take another variable. So that is missed files count. Missed files count. So now let us take the set variable activity. So these two outputs you should connect it to the this new set variable activity. So that is nothing but what actually missed files count. Missed files count. So then settings, select the variable that is missed files count and here identify it. Source files count minus destination files count we need to do, right? So for that, first of all, the function is what? Subtract, right? So subtract, there is a function, mathematical function subtract. So what is the first one? So first one is source files count. So that is what this variable, right? So go to the variable section. So source files count. Then comma, second one is what? Destination files count. So that's all. So with that, what is going to happen? And another thing is this source files count is actually a string type. So we should convert this whole thing into integer. That's what int of this source files count. So that is converted. Similarly, even destination files count also we need to convert into integer actually. So let us try to take int of this total. Now another thing is this whole result is returning again integer, but this variable type is missed files count type is string. So just keep this whole expression within curly braces. So automatically converting into string. So with that, number of files missed we are going to get. So you see here total 11. You should get count as 11. Here 5. So 6 minus 11 minus 5 going to become 6 here. Just observe that till now whatever is happened. So let us see in the output. So you can see destinations files count. You can observe that total 5. Yes, correct. You can observe that also. In the destination container, we have 5 files. Then in that source, we have 11 files. Let us see that. See in the source, total 11 files. Now 11 minus 5 should return 6. So 6 files difference is there. Okay. So then what we need to do? So if this number is greater than 0, some missed files are there. We need to copy them. Suppose if this number is 0, that means number of files in both source and destination is same. We don't need to do anything. So at that time, you can go for the iteration and conditionals, take the if condition. Then in this, after this result connected to this, then what is the if condition? So that's what actually in the condition, what we can write down. If this missed files count is 0, go to the true part. Is it or not? Go to the true part. Then we are not going to do anything. If it is greater than 0, so go to the false part. So that means you need to copy those files. So now let us try to specify the condition here. So here, what we can do in the functions, we are going to have a function called equals. So this is going to return true when it is equal. So that means what actually here, variable we should take, that is what missed files count. If this missed files count is equal to 0, then it is going to return true actually. So that means it is going to the true section. So in the true section, what we need to do, you no need to do anything, just keep quiet. That is what wait function, wait activity, let us keep here. So that it will just wait 1 second and then it will come out. So that means all files are there. So we no need to do anything. Otherwise, what we need to do, go to the false section. So that's what, go to the false section. Here, first thing is we need to identify files which are missed. That means file names we need to identify. What does it mean? 6 files are missed, right? Those 6 file names we need to identify. So for that, we can use the filter activity. So to the filter activity, how you can identify missed files here? So let us give the name first of all. Finding missed files. Okay. Then in the settings. So in the items here, first we are passing source files list we are passing here. Okay. So that is what get source files names dot child items. So that is what we are passing. So now let us set the condition part. So in the condition part, if you see, go to the dynamic content. Now here you see what is going to happen. Here we need to take a destination files list. And then one file we should take from the source. That file exists in the destination or not, we need to check. So for that, in the functions, we are going to have a function called contains. Okay. So this is going to return. So first of all, two parameters we need to pass. The very first parameter is get destination file names. So in that dot child items, comma. Now, one file name you need to take from the source that exists in the destination list or not, we need to check. So one file name means item. So or otherwise, you can go to the file iterator, click on this. So that's what item. So with that, every time one file name taken from the source, that is what item, that exists in the array of destination file list is going to check. If it exists, becoming true, so that is coming in the output actually. That file name is coming in the output. So first of all, let us see its output. Click on debug. So that whether it is returning exact file names or not, we can cross check. Okay. So you see now it is completed finding the missed files. So here if you see 5 files, items count is 11, 5 files is written. So this is what table 1.csv, 2.csv, 3, 4, 5. But what is our observation? These are the existing files, but we need not existing files in the destination. So we need to modify little in the condition. For whom it is going to become true, we don't need those files. For whom this condition is going to become false, we need those files in the output. That means those are not exist in the destination. So simple manner, just apply not for this entire Boolean result. When internally it is true, so overall it will become false. So that file not required because it is existed. When internally is false, that means file is not exist in the destination. So now not true going to become, not false going to become true. So that coming in the output. Okay. So by applying not, we are going to get a list of files which are not exist in the destination. So click on debug. Now let us see that list in the output. Refresh. So now you can see the output. See, total 6 files which are missed. Okay. So that is what 10, 6, 7, 8, 9 and EMP table. So that's what you can observe also. These are the files existed in the source container, but in the destination we have 1 to 5. So except 1 to 5 we have in the output. Okay. That's all. Now on top of this, what we need to do? So if you observe the output of the filter activity output, that is what JSON structure, if you observe, this is in an array format. So this is required for us. This is in an array. So this entire array object, we need to use for copying those files from source to destination. So go inside of the true. Then if you observe this, we already in a if condition, then whatever list we have got here in the array form, so for each item in the array, we need to iterate. But you see the loops are not working under if condition. So that is why we are going to take a new pipeline. So we are going to take a first of all new pipeline. Let us take that. So create a new pipeline. So assume this is pipeline 4. Then from pipeline 3, we are calling pipeline 4. So let us use the execute pipeline activity here. Then after completion of this filter activity successfully going to execute pipeline activity. In this, we are calling this pipeline 4. So that's all. But one thing is, which files are missed is calculated in this activity actually. So that output you need to pass as a parameter to this pipeline 4. So that means pipeline 4 should have a first of all parameter. So create a parameter missed files, missed files, missed files names. Okay. So this should be array type, right? So let us take this as a array type. So that's all. So whenever now you see pipeline 4 parameter is created, come to the pipeline 3, you can see here you have a missed file names. So observe that this filter activity is output so that you can pass clearly. So filter activities output, if you observe here, this we need to pass. That means value part we need, value field we need to pass as a array parameter. So that's what you can go inside of false. Here, click on dynamic content. So you can see finding missed files. In that value parameter, value field name we need to use. So that it is passing missed file names to this pipeline 4. Now you have all file names in this. So now it is very simple. Take the general. This is like a copying a list of files from one location to another location. For that, use the for each activity. So for each activity, what we need to here copying missed files. Okay. Then what is the settings? In the settings, what is the items actually? Items is our parameters. So this one. Okay. So that's all. Click OK. So this is array type. How many items are there in this parameter? For each item, it is working accordingly, whatever we are going to define inside of this activity. So go inside that. Then we are going to take each file name individually, then copy from source to destination. So for that, what we can do, use the copy activity. So go to the move and transform, take the copy activity. So go to the source, very importantly, data set. We need to create a parameterized data set because file name we don't know priorly. File name is coming dynamically from the parameter array actually. So that is why create a new data set which is pointing to the blob storage, then whose type is CSV, then click here. So data set pointing to the source because it needs to bring the file from the source, but it is a parameter type. Parameter. Let it be, let's some differentiation. So then, so it is going to connect to whom actually source container. So here let it be, click OK. And here also let it be, click OK. So now data set is created. So, but it is not parameter still, parameterized data set. So click on open now. This data set is going to open. In that, create a parameter. So that is what file name. Okay. So of course, string type. Go to the connections. Now you can see here in the source container, parameter, whatever we are passing, that is what file name we are passing. So click on dynamic content. See file name. Whatever here in this section we created parameter that we are placing in this. So in this container, this file name is going to fetch. So that file name is dynamic. So now go to the pipeline 4 again. Now you can see here we have a value. This is what? This is very important. So for each activity, we given parameters, parameter list, file names list. Every time one item it is going to take. So in that item, you have a file name. So that file name you need to pass here. That is what copying missed files. Okay. So item, in that item, file name is actually a field called name. So that is what is going to happen now. File name is going to take and passing here. By placing here, that particular file name going to the data set here. Now in this source, whatever file name you placed here, that is going to fetch. So with that, source is done. Now let us connect it to sync. So we already created one destination data set. So let us reuse that. Okay. So with that, setup is done. Okay. So now pipeline 3, pipeline 4. Now this is copying all the missed files from the source to destination. So we need to run pipeline 3 only, so that pipeline 4 is also going to call automatically from pipeline 3. So now let us see. It is going to debug. Before that, just observe in the destination, just refresh. In the destination, we have 5 files. So remaining files should come after execution of this particular pipeline. So click on debug, then observe that whether all files are copied from source to destination, which are missed. So now it is running, getting all file names from the source and destination. Refresh, then execute pipeline 1. So that means it is went to false section. Now execute pipeline 1 is running. Yes, that is also done. So after completion of this, what does it mean? Internal, it is called pipeline 4 also. Now go to the blob stories. See, this is the destination, right? Just click on refresh. See, all missed files, total 11 files came. That means 6 files newly copied. So this is what missed files you are doing. Now what we can do, let us check the true part actually. What does it mean? Now in the source and destination, total number of files are 11. So that means 11 minus 11, especially in this section, going to become 0. That means it should go to the true section. That means it no need to do anything. Just wait 1 second, just and then come out of it. So click on debug. So now here, if you see in this, see here, every time it is going to execute pipeline 1. So why it is doing, we need to recheck a little bit in the if condition part. So here, if you see in the equal, see it is, this is actually string type. This variable is string type, and this is 0 is actually integer type. So try to convert this into string type, and then let us rerun it. So now this is converting into integer. Then this integer value, this when you compare, then it is going to become equal. Otherwise, string is never equal to integer 0 actually, though it is 0. Okay. So now let us try to debug. Then we can see wait activity execution in the output. Okay. So we already clicked on debug. Now you can see now it is already running the wait one. So that's what the activity which is there in the true section. So what does it mean? Here missed files count is 0. So that 0 is actually in string form. That we need to convert into integer, then compare with the 0 actually. So now it is done. No files are copied because both source and destination is in the same sync, same number actually. So this way we can copy the missed files from the source to destination. This is very generic requirement in the real time. Hope you understand this one clearly. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe and share the video.